are interlopers and will be defeated.
Hello and welcome to another marvelous video. What do you think of when I say, "By the powers of Grayskull, I have the power"? For many children growing up in the 80s and 90s, this chant instantly transports us back to the world of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Today, we'll talk about a character from this series that many of you need to be acquainted with. Ever seen a hero who's a spinning whirlwind in human form? That's Cyclone for you. He's not your typical muscle-bound defender of Eternia. Nah, he's way cooler. He played a small part in the initial He-Man series. However, in the 2002 series, Cyclone takes on a more prominent role, showcasing his abilities. If you're keen on learning more about him, you'll need to stay tuned with us till the end of this video. Without wasting any more time, let us get into it. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin. Who is Cyclone? Cyclone came to life through Mattel designer Roger Sweet, originally dubbed Tornado in 1985. Mattel labeled him as the heroic fist-flinging tornado. I bet you can figure out why. No? That's okay. I'm sure you will in a bit. As the first He-Man cartoon series was wrapping up when he made his debut, his role in the show was incredibly brief, almost negligible. He makes fleeting appearances in minor roles in only 2 episodes. In the initial episode titled Here There, Skeletors Everywhere, Skeletor's scheme involved creating numerous smaller duplicates of himself, nearly 100 in total. This is where we encounter Cyclone for the first time, finding him chained to an exterior wall of the palace. However, He-Man frees him, and Cyclone uses his wind-based abilities to hold back the tiny Skeletors, allowing He-Man and the others to escape. In his second appearance in the episode called Beauty and the Beast, Skeletor dispatched a group of spider droids to assault the royal palace. Cyclone swiftly sprang into action, utilizing his whirlwind power to dismantle the robotic ships. Though his disappearance and powers are highlighted, these instances contribute little depth or advancement to the character's development. In other forms of media, like comic books and storybooks, the character of Cyclone takes on a more significant role. For instance, in the Golden Books hardcover series book I Have the Power, he's featured with an origin tale, which reveals that he was originally a circus performer named the Human Tornado and was transformed into Cyborg by Skeletor's Mechano-Ray. His backstory takes a different turn in the UK comics, released by London Editions. In this version, he was an athlete named Dash Shell, hailing from a distant planet called Snave. After a brutal attack by the evil horde left him gravely injured, his scientist father intervened to save him. And, like that, Dash Cell transformed into the cyborg known as Cyclone through scientific regeneration. Following the expulsion of the horde from Snave, he journeyed to Eternia to aid the Masters in their battle against the horde. In this comic series, he's depicted as a courageous and adventurous soldier. Yet he tends to be impulsive and overly enthusiastic. He frequently irritates his fellow warriors with his bragging and has a habit of plunging recklessly into sticky situations. Here's an interesting fact. Cyclone's action figure included a yellow shield, a detail that was missing from his appearance in the original He-Man cartoon series.
Have saved them from
Cyclone in He-Man and the Masters of the Universe 2002 TV series. Cyclone returns in the 2002 relaunch of the Masters of the Universe toy line and animated series. Sculpted by the 4 Horsemen, his action figure underwent slight modifications, adopting a look akin to a samurai warrior. In the show, his depiction sees substantial development from the original 80s version, undergoing significant alterations in portrayal. In the episode, The Mystery of Anwat Gar, a mysterious figure shadows He-Man and Man-at-Arms as they journey to the island of Anwat Gar, prompted by the sorceress's vision. They embark on the mission because they are concerned about Skeletor's potential threat to acquire the Legacy Stones and seize control of Eternia. As the narrative unfolds, the enigmatic presence is revealed to be Cyclone, the last protector of an ancient race that once inhabited the now abandoned island of Anwat Gar. For millennia, he stood as its sole protector, entrusted with the duty of safeguarding the island's powerful legacy stones. He-Man attempts to explain the situation regarding Skeletor to Cyclone, but the latter refuses to listen and starts throwing discs at them. He-Man intervenes to halt the attack. Cyclone then resorts to using his hands to conjure mini cyclones, which also He-Man stops. Despite He-Man's warnings, Cyclone persists by rotating his upper body to generate another twist, but once more He-Man prevents the action. This back and forth reaches its climax when Skeletor and Beastman announce their possession of the stones, allowing Skeletor to acquire the impervious legacy armor. Later, in a different episode, He-Man destroys the stones to ensure everyone's safety. Afterwards, He-Man invites Cyclone to join the Masters. In later episodes, he often shares metaphors and wise sayings that tend to bother his fellow warriors. No details emerge about his life before protecting Anwat Gar, and his appearances after that mainly involve brief moments or supporting parts. However, he does step into the spotlight once more in the episode Separation. In this episode, he embarks on a quest with Roboto to find his family, but discovers they have been deceased for centuries. He realizes that the Masters are his true and only family. Cyclone in Masters of the Universe, Forge of Destiny. The Dark Horse comic series Masters of the Universe, Forge of Destiny is a precursor to Kevin Smith's 2021 Netflix series Masters of the Universe Revelations, which delves into an early adventure of He-Man. Set during Prince Adam's initial year as He-Man, issue number 1 of Forge of Destiny follows the young prince on a diplomatic mission to Anwat Gar, a nation known for its cutting-edge science. Promoted as a Year One style escapade, the comic doesn't detail He-Man's origins, but instead picks up after he's gained powers and begun battling Skeletor. Interestingly, it introduces a young Dash Shell, who eventually becomes Cyclone, as we all know by now. Dash is depicted as the Prince of Anwat Gar, feeling estranged from his mother Hera Kane, who strongly dislikes her son's tornado-inducing abilities and the weird talents of his friends. Later, in a tavern encounter with Prince Adam, Dash receives misguided advice, leading him to believe he should use his abilities to steal from Anwat Gar's fortress to impress his mother. By the issue's end, Dash breaches a fortress following Adam's advice. Unfortunately, amid a surprise attack by Skeletor and Evil-Lyn, Dash sustains grave injuries amid the turmoil, resulting in him slipping into a coma. Issue 2 picks up with Adam falsely accused of attacking Anwat Gar's prince, resulting in the citizens seeking retribution by sending armies to kill him. At the hospital where Dash remains comatose, his mother Hera visits him, referring to him as a human tornado who rebelled against her beliefs. She blames herself for Dash's condition. Later, Evil-Lyn arrives, subdues Dash's nurse, and casts a spell altering the medical technology, sustaining him into a part of Anwat Gar's surveillance system. She instructs him to locate Prince Adam, claiming Adam turned Dash into what he despises the most. Dash is revealed to have transformed into a cyborg. Cyclone's origins have varied across different versions of the franchise, but Forge of Destiny presents a particularly dark version. Dash's circumstances led to his unfortunate fate due to Skeletor's machinations and framing Prince Adam for the assault on Dash. Evil-Lyn and Skeletor intend to weaponize Dash against his former ally. Fans familiar with Masters of the Universe understand that Skeletor's plans for Dash are doomed. Eventually, Dash will transform into Cyclone. However, at this moment, he's a dangerous weapon. To thwart him, He-Man must appeal to whatever humanity remains within Dash. In the latter part of the third third issue, a Terminator-like version of Dash arrives and attacks He-Man. He's driven by the directives within the machines in his head, compelling him to target Prince Adam, who, as He-Man, shares the same face. Like, duh. He-Man attempts to reason with him by revealing himself to be Prince Adam, and as his friend, and revealing the deception he's fallen victim to. Overwhelmed by this revelation, Dash experiences an information overload and gets distracted. Taking advantage of the situation, He-Man resorts to chanting his iconic phrase, resulting in Dash being electrocuted, allowing He-Man to break free from his hold. The tale doesn't conclude here, as Dark Horse Comics plans to unveil the final issue of this story arc later this year. The upcoming release will reveal the direction in which Dash's character progresses and whether he ultimately transforms into Cyclone by the story's conclusion or not. Powers and personality of Cyclone. Cyclone is a cyborg with blue skin who possesses the power to rotate at incredible speeds and create powerful whirlwinds. Additionally, he demonstrates the ability to spin specific parts of his body independently. He also has the ability to strike adversaries with strong blasts of wind. Extending his rotating arms, he can fully transform his body into a cyclone. Cyclone can dive down to strike opponents from above when airborne in his whirlwind form. Cyclone sports a vibrant attire consisting of yellow and blue colors. Red bands encircle both his gloves and boots, while a red belt and a singular ring adorn his yellow helmet. His chest piece prominently features a circular green symbol painted across it, making it a notable part of his ensemble. In the 2002 iteration, Cyclone's character is infused with samurai characteristics. Portrayed as a mystical and ancient samurai warrior instead of solely a cyborg, his control wind appears to possess a magical aspect, differing from the cybernetic nature of the 1980s version. His appearance has a subtle Asian influence, much like his background, which is tied to the island and combat style of Anwat Gar, reflecting a Japanese influence, potentially inspired by Angkor Wat. His demeanor is characterized by wisdom and solemnity. Following the destruction of the Legacy Stones and the completion of his mission as the Guardian of Anwat Gar, Cyclone became a member of the Masters of the Universe. He dons the last remaining tech vest armor crafted by his Gar ancestors, which had a menacing reputation during the aftermath of the Great Wars. This armor features wind rockets that enable the user to generate potent swirling vortexes, serving as both a defensive tool and a means of aerial navigation. Additionally, Cyclone has upgraded his armor, integrating cosmic radar that allows him to detect the presence of malice well in advance of others. With his wind powers and radar-equipped chest, Cyclone is primed for combat. Marvelous verdict! That brings us to the end of this video. Cyclone, the spinning whirlwind hero of Eternia, emerges as an unconventional and captivating character within the Masters of the Universe universe. Originally conceived as Tornado by Mattel, Cyclone's limited role in the early series gave way to more significant appearances, showcasing his whirlwind abilities and character evolution. From the distinctive backstory involving a circus performer turned cyborg to the portrayal of an athlete from an alien world, his origins varied across comic iterations, adding layers to his identity. Despite his brief appearances in the He-Man lore, Cyclone's evolving character and unique powers have left an intriguing mark. Whether he's seen as a whirlwind hero, a dangerous cyborg, or a mystical samurai, his legacy remains an intriguing part of the He-Man universe. What do you think about Cyclone? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked the video, remember to hit the like button and share this video with all your friends. I'll see you in the next one.